Hi, everybody. This is Dr. B from Guilford High School in Guilford, Connecticut, and here is our AP Chemistry Coronavirus Update. This is as of Sunday, March 29th. We'll go over the latest news from the College Board, some frequently asked questions, a full year calendar of where we stand, the end of the year calendar that we'll have to revise based on all these updates, and the assignments and when they'll be due. News from the College Board. Well, they've posted some things. Here's where they post their stuff, so you can go to this site whenever you want to see any of their updates. And some notable items include that they're starting some online AP courses. I'll have more to say about that right there. They will be conducting the AP chemistry exam at home. They'll be offering you 2 different testing dates. But for all this information here, they don't have details yet. They will be posting it by April 3rd. The online course, such as it is right here. I say that because right now it's about 5 or so YouTube videos. They're 45 minutes each. I'm a little bit underwhelmed because they include, for the first several videos, acids and bases, which is one of the omitted topics, which surprises me. And also 45 minutes each is crazy. They present them live, but then they save them as recordings. I really don't see much point in viewing them live if they're just going to be recorded anyhow. So these are available. Have a look at them and use them if you want. Note that you'll be able to take the exams on any device. And here, this is important here. Notice that it's 45 minutes, the exam. It will be online, and it's only free response questions. In order to meet this with the coronavirus, they've omitted some topics. Currently, AP Chemistry has divided up the year, into 9 topics. We'll still be doing 1 through 7, but they're omitting 8 and 9. So these 7 are still in, and these 2 are out. Notice that Unit 6 and Unit 9 both have the words thermodynamics in it, so it can get confusing. Here, I think what they really mean is thermochemistry. That means calorimetry and any sort of specific heat problems are still in. Q equals MC delta T type problems are still on the test. The ones that are not are the thermodynamics problems. And generally what that means is things that have to do with free energy. That should be a G there. Delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. That should be a delta sign right there. So if it has to do with free energy, it's out. If it has to do with thermochem, it's in. Also out are acids, bases, buffers, and all electrochemistry that gets added to here as well. So quite a bit has been removed. Let's review. Has the AP exam been canceled? No. Those of you who are aware of International Baccalaureate Chemistry, for comparison, all those exams have been canceled. But AP is still going on. When is it? Well, they won't say yet, but they should soon. What's it on? Units 1 through 7 for chemistry, but not units 8 or 9. Where do I take it? You can take it anywhere. You take it online. What are the new AP Chemistry resources? Well, they have two, the coronavirus update as well as this online, they call it an online course. Right now it appears to be just a series of 45-minute videos. How long is the AP Chemistry exam? It's only 45 minutes. What types of questions are on it? No multiple choice, only free response. Hey, can you still get college credit? You betcha. Same sort of rules apply. What specifically is omitted? Well, that's, if you really want to do well on the test, you got to know what's not on the test. And that's all the stuff that is not on the test, which is a little bit too much to go over, right? So when you're reviewing, as our class will, using the Princeton Review Guide, we've already started it, you can look for the following words for anything that you're going to omit. I'm not going to specifically list the omitted questions because several of you have different versions. The 2020 version, almost all of you have, I know from the last survey, but some of you have the super duper version that is on slightly different pages and has slightly different questions. So any of these words, I think, are fair game to almost certainly know that that means they are omitted. I've just chosen keywords that have to do with acids and bases, buffers, thermodynamics, and electrochemistry. Those are the omitted topics. If you see those words, generally speaking, omit them. Now, for free energy, delta G equals delta H minus T delta S. There is delta H in there, so it has to do with free energy, omit it. But delta H also has to do with plain old heat and thermochemistry. So if it has to do with plain old thermochemistry, calorimetry, things like that, it's still on. Here's our overall schedule where Guilford High School stands for the year. This is Guilford High School's schedule, including our wonderful pink days, which means days off. And where we stand is we did way too much because we didn't know. We did acids and bases, but it's omitted. We did buffers, but it's omitted. We did both thermodynamics and thermochemistry. We'll omit thermodynamics. At least we did not do electrochemistry, and we don't have to, so we'll omit that as well. So how do we proceed from here? Well, here's where we are. Let's zoom in on March, April, and May. Let's assume that the exam will still be offered. Well, we're going to offer 2 dates. I have to assume that they will be towards around the same time, but all this can be subject to change if they announce different dates. So we'll wait for that big announcement. We're going to proceed henceforth, assuming no giant changes to the exam date. We already reviewed pages 1 through 54 roughly from the Princeton Review. We all took the practice exam. You all took pictures of the pages for the practice exam. Most of you did a fantastic job of that. You marked it up. You worked on all the problems. We had a 7:35 meeting, which you all hated because it was so early, so we're changing it to 10 a.m. I'm sure I'll get, positive responses for that. And we assigned the practice exam for Friday at 9 a.m. and that's already in, that's already graded. Have a look at Google Classroom and you can get an update on that. I was pretty picky about not accepting late submissions and I will continue to be, so be sure you get it in by the deadline, otherwise it's a 10% deduction per day. If it comes to me formatted so it's largely unreadable, for example, sideways or out of focus, I also have to make a 10% deduction. I generally try to look for these omissions as they're coming in and say, hey, it looks good, just to try to be nice and prevent that deduction for you. Okay, moving forward, here's this week. We would normally start the atom, which is the big idea number 1 from the Princeton Review. Fortunately, we've already done this as a summer assignment. You should already see it marked up in all the questions answered. So just have a look at that. It was quite some time ago. So you may want to just reread this and nod your head and make sure you're good, or make a list of things you want to review. But in the interest of time, since we did already do that, we're going to go right on to Unit 2, which is bonding. I'm not going to include the page numbers, but this is big idea number 2. And we'll have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. You'll see it in Google Classroom. Please attend. Mostly I'll just go over this same assignment, so hearing this in advance will be handy. And then on Friday at 9 a.m. sharp, the chapter will be due. That means don't just do all the problems, but also mark up the text itself. I want to see highlighter, I want to see circles, I want to see criticisms. I disagree. This is a bad way of teaching it. This is clear now. Things like that. If you also want to throw in questions to me as I'm reviewing the pages, I have to do a lot of these, but I will try to have time. If you say, Dr. B, I don't get this. Why isn't blah, blah, blah? I will try to address that when I return this to you on Google Classroom. This is due Friday at 9 a.m. Now, all that's pretty much set in stone, but moving forward, everything could change depending on their announcement. If their announcement is as I predict it will, and everything's going to be about the same schedule sometime in early May for the exam, then we'll proceed like this. We'll do the big idea number 3 the following week. We have to meet on Thursday the 9th since the vacation starts on the 10th, so make a note of that. And I should say not meet, that's when it's due, right? At 9 a.m. That big idea is due on Thursday at 9 a.m. You'll be pleased to hear, cleared out your schedule for spring break, which is larger than a week, so that you can relax and hopefully that'll be fine. And then the following week, we go to big idea number 4 with the usual Monday hangout, followed by the chapter due date. Chapter 5, we don't have to do it all. That's thermodynamics. We omit the whole thing. So that's nice. It fits in now so that we'll be doing the last chapter on the week, hopefully, before the exam. That's equilibrium, hangout, and chapter due. And then for the last week, we'll do another practice exam. That's at the end of the Princeton Review. And that's the date for our Monday hangout. And then hopefully by then we'll know when the final exam will be. Okay, that's an overview of what's going on with AP Chemistry from the perspective of Guilford High School.